I slept. I made sure that I found a way through a cloud of haze. Every day I wept, found how to live through all them cloudy days. You know the mind's a maze with all its mixtures. It's always hard to get the entire scope of the picture. 1080p, that's you other busters, yeah, obsolete. Can't fuck with me, excuse my French, but I'm not discreet. I wear my heart on my sleeve, but I've learned my lesson. I learned 1996 birth, one of the greatest weapons untold. I'm destined to reach heights thought I could never see, but foolish thoughts rampage my heart and let me not reach the peaks that's entrusted to me. My belief shatter off past actions. I grieve, but grievance never really matter. It's how I choose to act differently in the coming battles to overcome my limitations and get out my shadow. But it's hard to wade in this water, but it was never shallow. Fuck it, let me get the paddles. Fuck that now, let me get this castle. Fuck that now, let me get this battle.
What it do? It's your boy Sage back in this thing with Squad Nero. Episode 56. If you want to be technical about it, season 2 episode. Back up in this thing yet again with another. I personally apologize. Yesterday, that was my fault. I got a little. So appreciate y'all for stopping, checking. Please make sure to like and subscribe.
Hold up.
Yeah,
Are y'all hearing him going in and out?
yeah.
I'm going in and out.
Can you put his gain?
Yeah.
Well, his gain is like he's up. That's the thing. So, okay.
Uh,
but
Rob,
I don't know.
unplug your mic and plug it back in again.
No, it's the fact that it's like skipping in and out for him. So it's not like it's.
Testing.
All right. All right. Take 2.
I'm good.
Go again. Take 2.
All right. I gotta do it all over again.
Just summarize it. Hurry up.
All right, episode 56. I apologize for not being here yesterday, or for us not being here yesterday. That was all me.
We say
So
Sundays
we
or
appreciate
Mondays.
y'all. Yeah, Sundays or Mondays. We appreciate y'all for stopping by. Episode 56. If you want to be technical, season 2, episode 15.
We're still
Back up
doing
in
it.
this thing.
Still doing it.
Damn. Really?
We'll just
What
make
the
it work.
fuck?
Just go with it.
Captain America spoiler review. How y'all feeling? Now that everybody has watched it, and there's some time has.
I low-key thought about this today, bro. If you put Eddie Murphy in that role, it's damn near gonna be the same movie, bro.
Pretty much.
Like, this shit was a joke, in my opinion. Like, I understand what they were trying to do with Anthony Mackie, but it was like,
Damn, you say it's the Eddie Murphy movie?
Damn.
bro, could you see Eddie Murphy in that role? I could. But I'm saying, like, the way he was acting, like, come on, y'all, I got shit to do. Like, bro, you getting your ass whooped by regular civilians. And then you doing all of this superhero shit. He kicked the shield and took out 3 missiles. I don't care what type of training he got going on. That's super soldier shit right there. And then it's like there's so many different plots going on in the movie. You're like, okay, the leader here. Okay, they're gonna bring in the Captain Israel girl. She served a purpose for like 15 minutes. And then his sidekick, what was his name? Joaquin?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or Falcon or whatever. This nigga just hacking into everything at the click of a button. And then the leader getting around the United States. Like, the leader got from the military base to somebody's house to a secret military base all in the span of 8 minutes. And it was like, yo, there's no explanation for how he's moving, for anything that's going on. Like, and then I actually liked Thunderbolt Ross in the film. I thought he was the best part of the film, in my opinion, him and his relationship with Japan. But other than that, I feel like the movie was just doing a little bit too much, trying to make it seem like all inclusive and cool. But it wasn't enough focus on. I don't think there's enough focus on Captain America, to be honest.
Now, like to your thoughts, D. Like, honestly, in my opinion, I enjoyed it. The movie was a solid 8 out of 10. It was so much going on because of the mess that went on with the MCU. We're not getting Eternals, so they explain that in there. We're not getting a new Incredible Hulk, so they had to explain that with Thunderbolt Ross and his story to close that like storyline out with him and his daughter. And him turning into Red Hulk and with the leader coming in. So they had to use that. So it was, in my opinion, it was literally Eternals Part 2 or Eternals 1.5 and Incredible Hulk's 1.5 with
So we not getting
Captain America in there.
Thunderbolt Ross no more.
No, we are.
No, we are. He's going to be in the Thunderbolts. Like, more than likely, he's going to be in the Thunderbolts. But it's the fact that they were closing the storyline on the Incredible Hulk, the Edward Norton one. So they were trying to close that out with him and Betty. With Betty?
Yeah, Betty.
Mm-hmm.
With him and Betty. And then they were closing out the Eternals talking about the adamantium down in the Indian Ocean. So it's like they were trying to... Because remember, it went through a lot of script rewrites. A lot of script rewrites.
Oh, yeah, Serpent Society was added in there for Giancarlo Esposito.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I forgot about that nigga.
And Gene Carlos, we're not done with him because remember what he said. I'm going to escape, and Captain America said, "I'm gonna put you back in," but we know he's going to get out. So that's the one thing I'm kind of glad. It's not like they won off Gene Carlos' character. He can come back later on. Like he's not like a permanent enemy, but he's like a side enemy that they can like stop, or it could be like a mid fight in a big movie or something where he pops in or something. But overall, I enjoyed the movie because I wanted them to close the book on some of these movies because we were just sitting at a standstill waiting. Eternals came out like what 5-6 years ago. It feels like.
Yeah.
So they needed to close that out, which at that point the Eternals are now side characters to big movies going forward. They can bring them back because remember, most of them are spanning Judgment, whatever that big spirit was that pulled them in. So he can let them come back and save Earth in Doomsday or in Secret Wars or whatever going forward. And we can finally get that Black Knight whenever Blade gets made. That's still up in a standstill from the Eternal movie, that ending cutscene. So it's like they're trying their best to give us a solid movie, but at the same time, close the book on some of these other movies that they have like just wide open, which I'm not mad about. So it's like I knew what I was going into when I heard that they're going to touch on the Incredible Hulk and Eternal. So it's like it says Captain America, but it's not Captain America per se. But Anthony Mackie did do a good job with what he was dealt with. Like it's sort of like the Gore the Butcher effect. He did what he did what he was supposed to do, but it wasn't on the level we expected.
Wait, speaking of that, who did that nigga kill?
Who?
Gore the God Butcher.
He killed all the guys off screen and we didn't see it. Like he killed that one big giant animal that Thor ended up coming across. But
Okay.
they like that. But that was the one thing that was okay. Side note, that was the one thing that was wrong with Love and Thunder. You got Gore the Butcher, show him like offing some of these gods, and they didn't. Like you just got the image of in your brain that he did do that. But overall, back on subject, Captain America 8 out of 10. It was solid. I liked the Red Hulk. Granted, it was only like 5-7 minutes of it. I wish we could have got more. There's no chance we'll get more going forward unless they find a way to get that gamma radiation out his blood. But yeah, I enjoyed it myself. Anthony Mackie did a solid job. He wasn't amazing. He wasn't bad. He was in the middle. I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, I would say for the script that he was given, he did a decent job. I don't know. It was just too much going on. Do you feel like they could have kept the Serpent Society out of there? Or kept them in there, but like reduced the role? Like,
well, they didn't need that. I'm gonna be honest. They didn't need Gene Carlos coming back to fight him in that one scene when he was driving the truck.
that's what I'm saying.
They could have like he got away. He can come back later on. He didn't really need, but it was it was kind of needed for him to be able to get the information he needed on the leader because he didn't really know a lot about him. It was like it was like he was thrusted in between the Eternal story and Incredible Hulk. So it's like he had to talk to these people to get an understanding of who everyone was per se. Sage now.
How about you, Krakow?
Okay. Uh, I'm honestly I'm split between Chef D and T Smooth's answer in this one. I definitely agree that it didn't feel like thinking about it in more context. It didn't feel like a Captain America movie, which is something that both T and D did comment on, and I agree with them. I'll be the third person to kind of throw my leg in that. I did see that, and I did see a lot of people discussing and saying that same thing. I do agree with a lot of T's points though in regards to the fact that there was a lot that was supposed to be covered. It was more kind of like an explanation of what we should have gotten post Eternals at an earlier point, but we didn't. So trying to do some kind of cleanup work there, while at the same time trying to do cleanup work for the Incredible Hulk series, which hasn't really gone anywhere. They needed it to, they just needed something to be done with that, because the Hawk is a huge character. It's a huge marketing character, period. So you got to try to figure out what you're going to do with that. And I think they just, unfortunately, Anthony Mackie and the other members of this film had to kind of bear the weight of that, unfortunately. I'm kind of more on the T side. I wouldn't give it an 8. I would probably give it closer to a 6 or 7 now with more thought. And my biggest reason for that, again, leads kind of back into what D was saying. You make a movie about Captain America. I think that there definitely was room and potential with Anthony Mackie's Captain America and Sam Wilson, for us to have a grounded movie that was around Captain America, around Sam Wilson, again. And all we have to do is really look, if we want to go to the success of a Captain America more grounded movie like that doing well, literally that's just been the entire history of the Captain America movies. Every single one of them, outside of the first one, even the first one to some extent, but more so Winter Soldier and Civil War, you can do a great story with Captain America. So that's a little disappointing. But again, going back to what T said, which I do also agree with, they had a lot that they had to kind of make up for. They're trying to figure out how to do that. I was just overall happy that it was a more relaxed, chill, less comical MCU movie. That part, to me, the fact that it's just been different from what we've been getting for the last 3, 4, 5 years, and almost a dozen films, less than that, but the sentiment is there. The fact that it was less, or it was away from that, away from the Thor films that we've been getting, the Guardians of the Galaxy, the Deadpool, no shots to Deadpool, the She-Hulk, if we go in the series, just getting away from that. It was able to do that. I was cool with that.
One quick note before you go, Sage. I would say I guess they had to have so much in there because you look at Falcon, he has no rogue gallery like that though that I know of. So like when you got Steve Rogers fighting Red Skull, then fighting Bucky as the Winter Soldier, then in Civil War, and then it's like Falcon. It's like, who is he gonna fight? Like, what is he gonna be doing? As a Captain America, like, what would his movie even be about? They're not gonna have a rival Falcon part of the Soviet Union or some shit.
Something Hydra related.
Yeah, something Hydra related. But I mean, like looking at this film, it's like, damn, like they probably like, who we gonna have him even fight? And
how are we gonna flesh it out?
Yeah, and they probably couldn't be like, oh, let's have him fight Isaiah Bradley, because how would that be received?
Yeah.
If Isaiah Bradley was somebody took control of him, it'd be like Winter Soldier Part 2 all over.
So they literally had to go with the Naruto effect in this movie. That was my only biggest gripe. I wish it was Betty that had to do the talking no jutsu to calm Red Hulk down, but they did it with Anthony Mackie. I felt as though, like, that's what I was talking about last time when we had our episode. Without spoiling, that was the one thing I despised. It wasn't yes, I despise the power of friendship, but I don't like talking no jutsu. I really don't. It's one of my biggest gripes with Naruto. Like, just throw the hands until somebody perishes. But at the end of the day, it was needed because we all know he's not beating the Incredible Hulk or Red Hulk or Abomination or anybody of obscene strength. Even if he has the vibranium shield stuff. Because even when he pushed back the Red Hulk, He was about to murk him until talking no jutsu monologue set in. Look at the cherry blossoms. Look at the cherry blossoms. Hulk starts to calm down. It wasn't like when Mark Ruffalo's Incredible Hulk, he had to get calmed down by Black Widow, someone that he loves, a female like that. Like, I felt like Betty should have like stepped in that point. I understand she could have been across the whole U.S. of A. when she had talked to Ross, but I don't care. I felt like it would have been a little more sentimental to have her come over there and like, Dad, I love you. I see you making a change. Let's go walk and go see Cherry Blossom. And she reaches out and grabs his hand, and he starts to change back to General Ross, or President Ross at this point.
Why ain't they just had that nigga jump in the water? He was right there.
Oh, Ross?
Yeah, like why ain't Anthony Mackie just fly in the water? Fly over the water.
He would have
Like,
just
you
kept
think
on a
about it.
rampage. He would have been like, ugh, not worrying about you.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, we've seen him. This is the first time we've seen Hulk really leap like this since Eric Bana's Hulk in
Yeah,
2003.
absolutely.
I would say Red Hulk. This is the scariest we've seen Hulk. In Age of Ultron, he wasn't looking this scary. This nigga looked like he was ready to kill Anthony Mackie. He literally ran through a thick ass tree in the park. Like, bro, he was really going crazy. So I'm like, bro, this is probably the best iteration of Hulk we got.
Like you said, since Eric Mena Hawk.
I would say, yeah, since Eric Bana's Hulk and what's that? Edward Norton Hulk. Because I'm like, bro, this Red Hulk would give niggas a run for their money. For real, for real.
Is my mic still tweaking?
No, you should be.
You ain't talk long enough.
I don't know. Yeah.
All right. He did thunderclap like a portion of the White House, which was fire when I. But I think I'm more resounding. I think it was all right film.
No, your mic.
Oh yeah.
Again?
Is there like a noise gate or a noise filter on it? Like the noise gate? Is it like too high maybe?
This shit tweaking. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, you're gonna have to say like a sentence because it cuts out like in the middle.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Test.
Yeah.
LECLC's by the.
Yeah, it's still doing it. While he's kind of working on that, we back before we were talking about. Is it working now? Okay, he's still working on it. Back before this movie came out, I know that some of us had agreed that, there was a lot of weight that was kind of running on this movie. There was like a lot of pressure. Like this has to be something that can kind of push us forward to bring some type of faith back into the MCU. It seemed like it wasn't exactly the thrill that we thought it would be. Again, for me, for T, it's more like, you know what? It might not have been exactly what I wanted it to be or as hyped as I thought it should have been. But do you think that it was still enough for you to have faith in the MCU, or do you feel like it's still not enough and that fear still exists?
I feel like there's enough for like the resurgence of the MCU, but we do have to understand a lot of the criticism comes from him being a black Captain America. Like I really have to take that into consideration. Like a lot of the reviews I saw, that was really a driving point for people. Like, oh, it's not Steve Rogers and it didn't work in the comics and didn't this and this. And I'm thinking about like Anthony Mackie didn't do a bad job, but y'all can't get past the fact that he's being a black Captain America. And then when you see the movie, it's like I really do think it's a good start or ending to Phase 5. I don't even know what phase we in. But besides all the silly shit that we had before, the Love and Thunder, and people did like the Multiverse of Madness, I didn't really care for it, but I feel like it is a break from that, like a breath of fresh air. So, I mean, I'm on board with that.
I agree. Yeah, honestly, I agree with that. Like, I'm like, look, if this is the start because you just kind of like, okay, we actually trying to get scripting together better, and we haven't been able to do that for a long time, then I'm I'm okay with this movie, especially if like we get Thunderbolts as an example, and Thunderbolts is really good and it's blowing, which from everything that is at least so far, it feels like it may be a good movie in the MCU, like just a solid movie that maybe is unique and we haven't seen before, done by the MCU in terms of theme and in terms of vibe. So if that movie ends up being good, you know, I think that kind of puts us, it's keeping us in that trajectory of like, okay, because you can't really say at that point, oh, the MCU has only been releasing like all terrible movies, because Deadpool was a success. Captain America is the next movie up after that.
It seemed like it's a success box office wise.
Seems like it's a success box office wise as well. And then after that, if you got a successful Thunderbolts movie, it's like, what reason do you really have to say, okay, the MCU is like completely losing it? I know a lot of people still do have fears because they just don't feel like it was enough and they felt like Deadpool was a cheat code. But at the end of the day, how you structure movies should also kind of be in play, right? For like, if you have a successful runner, if you're starting to get something together, that's how we got the first Avengers in the first place. Every movie during the first phase and second phases weren't like perfect. They weren't all successes. You think of like Thor, Dark World. I think that was like, what was that, phase 1 or phase 2?
Phase 2.
So like we've seen in the phases that we do like and that have built to other things that like every movie isn't necessarily like a knockout success, but the fact of the matter is they were building towards something great. And they had good things in the mix.
I was gonna say, like, when we got the Captain Marvel movie, that was sandwiched between those two Avengers films.
Mm-hmm.
So I think some people are like, yo, Marvel does this, like they got a good movie, they put a movie that might not be doing as well between something else to build that excitement or just to tie people over. Because once that Captain Marvel film came out, it was like this had no tie-in to Infinity War. It was just like, let's put this in to make, like, when you see that end credit scene, here she come in.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get the end game, and she shows up, but it was like her movie didn't really touch on that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I mean, people probably thinking like, what is this Captain America movie building to? If we had to wait, if we waited since 2010 to get Thunderbolt Ross back in the fold, and then to see the leader again, then we waited for what, since 2020, 2019 to see this celestial even mentioned in the news or anything, and it's like, damn, like. People like, I think Marvel probably waiting a little too long to discuss some of this shit.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that.
I might have spoke too soon because it seems like they're having an extreme drop off box office as of now. It's like the third. Yeah. It's like the third most significant drop in the cinema films. Compared to the 78%. God damn! And the Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantum at 68%.
They might hang that nigga.
Yo.
It ain't looking good.
So the mic was better though? Y'all can hear all of that?
No,
you keep
it was still messing up. Yeah. I was having hope. We was like on a cloud praying for a second there, like, all right, maybe it'll just snap.
Like, no hope.
Nah.
Should I just restart my PC real quick?
Real quick. Yo, one gripe I got with the movie, bro. Well, I got a few gripes, but I'm not understanding the leader. Like, they kept saying stupid shit like, I knew you were going to show up. It was a 77% chance you'd be here. And it was a 27% chance if you turned your back, you would be on this side of the car. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then the leader
Why do I need this stat?
Bro, they were like, the leader, he's a master in calculations. He's like, I knew you would show up to the base. It was only a 22% chance that you would unlock the code. Nigga, I could have said that. Show me what you've been thinking about for 17 years locked in his basement.
Oh, dude.
I'm like, you a genius. I'm like, bro, you got gamma samples. You sneaking gamma radiation into the president's bloodstream. You doing all this smart shit. And all people can say about you is he knows percentages. And you talking about shit like a 16% chance you would throw your shield off the wall. Like, nigga, like, shut the fuck up, dude.
Tell me something about your rage, your frustration,
bro. The only
how
bad
things
thing
been
in the movie was killed that husband and wife in their home to use their telephone.
Yeah, you couldn't feel none of his rage,
bro. He was like, "Martha, borrow your phone, Senator." Who is that, honey? Pop, pop. Like, what is going on?
Yeah,
it was a lot.
Like, bro,
it was a lot.
Can y'all understand my frustration of how he got to that house and then
Yeah.
how he got to the military
Yeah, he
base.
just like it's like he had to jump. Like he had
And then
Hawks
how
jump.
Maybe
he
it was
got
with
to
the
close.
brain.
DC.
Maybe it was close.
Nah.
That mean all that shit was down the street, and this shit all happened.
Who he
it
got
seemed to
helping
be-
him?
All this shit seemed to happen within like a 3-hour span, bro.
Yeah.
This nigga
Like
was,
it would be like they driving on their way up to the next city, and like before they even get there, he already there, and it's like we left at the same time. What flight you got? What who? And if you got a flight that could get you there in 10 minutes, why you get captured? You should have been able to get out of there faster than anybody could realize. I
and
do
why is
understand what
nobody
you mean.
flagging a nigga with green eyes and a bubbly head.
I don't
Yeah.
like what they did with his head either. That's one thing that I
I
didn't
mean, they
like.
couldn't give him the true. They couldn't give him the true like.
Why not?
Nigga, my head. It's too like imagine trying to do the CGI for that, and if it go bad, that's think about how much worse.
He's not even
You
fighting.
see what they did with MODOK?
Fair, but like imagine if they did something like that again, and people are they already knew people, like you said, go before when Marvel made this movie, they already knew that the whole Black Captain America thing was going to turn people off before the movie even came out. Every little detail that could have possibly made anything worse, they could not have left that out there for that to be taken advantage of. They could not, bro. It would have went terribly. Like, bro,
Yeah.
you think about how you already feel. Think about that drop off Sage just got done talking about. Think about how much worse that would have been if they blew this dude's head up and it looked terrible. They was just like, we got to do a modest attempt with this. Just something real.
Yeah, put this mask
To
on.
be incognito, because if your head was like on some Anunnaki shit, they'd have been like, "Yo, flag the U.S. Somebody out here. They got a scroll out here walking amongst us.
Yeah.
They got a scroll
They got
out
a
here.
whole they missed one. Not my America. They missed one.
Thunderbolt Ross, you missed an alien.
Yeah. All right.
It would have definitely
Oh.
been his critique.
God, I really do think Harrison Ford was like part of the best part. I mean, Anthony Mackie was cool.
I do agree
I
with
did
that.
like
His
the
fight
nigga,
scenes was pretty nice.
yeah, the nigga comedy was cool too. Like when Isaiah Bradley jumped off the stairs and Anthony Mackie was like, "Oh hell no!" and that nigga was running down the stairs. That's all. Like you should have just took the serum, my nigga. Like, you just like you running full speed and you 3 miles behind Isaiah Bradley.
You
I
know,
really thought they would get a younger dude for that too. I'm like, why y'all get this Uncle Ben ass nigga?
that's how technically
'Cause
old
he's
he
supposed
is.
to be the same age as like
As
Steve
old,
Rogers.
yeah, close to. But I think what they could have done was when Falcon, spoiler alert, when Falcon went down, I would have liked to have seen Steve Rogers see that commencing, activate, I don't know, some shit that was gonna fuck him up. Now I got his face like my shit's still going in and out.
Nah,
Is it
it's
going
not.
in and out?
It's
It's
actually
not.
doing pretty good.
Okay. But Steve Rogers go and instead pushes Falcon out, but he's severely, and then that's what makes him take some type of. I would have liked that to have happened. That to have
Steve Rogers pushed
transpired.
him out where?
Push Falcon out the way before Falcon got that
Got that what?
and everything. He got sent to the hospital. I can't remember what happened.
Oh, you talking about
got
when he was
fucked
racing for the bomb?
Yeah, when he was racing for the bomb.
It started messing up again. That's why we was having trouble trying to understand what he was talking about. But
What
he
wrong?
talking about okay. So when they were fighting when they were with the fighter jets, the Japanese fighter jets, and they were trying to sink basically their Navy station, the U.S. Navy station, or vice versa. It might have been vice versa. No, I don't know. It was the Japanese fighter planes. The missile, they were trying to stop all of the missiles, and Falcon stopped one, and then not Steve Rogers, Sam Wilson's Captain America was telling Falcon to like stop. No, don't do it. Like chill out before you got there. That's what he commented on. And
So
you said
you wanted Anthony Mackie to be the one in the hospital to bring back Steve Rogers?
To bring back the Falcon. So no, and at that point he gets severely injured, and then they have to use the serum. type of.
Oh, so you're saying
yeah.
like Falcon has to use it, or okay?
Falcon has to use it, or not Falcon, but Sam Wilson.
Yeah, to
Okay.
be like, this the only way we could have kept you alive type shit.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see what you did
he
there.
he was getting washed in these fights.
It would have allowed for him. I still liked how they portrayed the fights, though. They showed it in a realistic aspect, and it kind of showed how smart and how cunning he is in a fighting match type of thing. To be able to do the feats that he was doing while being just a regular ass nigga.
Yeah, I would say he's definitely a more strategic fighter. I mean, he has to be. He only got, some type of body armor and shit. But
Yeah.
I did want to see some Winter Soldier shit. We had Steve Rogers running through an office building with a shield and doing all types of shit.
That's true. This nigga stopped the helicopter from flying away.
Come on now.
All right. So let's go on to. I'm gonna. Which one?
We ain't hear nothing you said.
Yeah.
Invincible or Spider-Man?
Invincible.
All right. I'm about to restart my PC real quick.
Y'all go ahead.
Yeah, we'll start while he do that. I do kind of prefer that he do something because it's like skip it. Yeah, like right when it's all scratched up, the disc all scratched up, and it just facts was bad. Yes, dang, you old. T. Because my memory of that is so small. The fact that you pulled that out, woo! Like you said, this is before Target. Oh yeah, I remember that. That went for a while. Though. Yeah, that went for a very long. I remember that.
Mega.
Yeah, you I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember the Nintendo.
Nintendo's in the display disc. PS1.
I remember PS2. I remember PS2, Xbox,
GameCube. I remember
joints.
GameCube. Yeah, GameCube was in there for a minute, but it was because Nintendo didn't have. X, bro. That's how it was.
What
I
about
hated that.
Remember they had them at Tops and Wegmans?
And them little playpens
in the kids sections. Be there all fucking day. Seemed like
all day. Might be done grocery shopping. You like, no, you not,
bro. The Crash Bandicoot shit. The Sonic.
Yep.
Roberto.
Yeah, I was talking about Invincible.
No.
Walking down Yes.
Oh,
yes.
shit.
Yep.
That was what Tarjay was before Tarjay.
Media Play. Yo, yep. I used to go to Circuit City just to look at CDs.
Yes.
So much bullshit in there.
It was so much. It was like legit like a little record store. You like what? It was fire. The setups was fire back in the day. Like, it had Beats headphones like with the first iteration. This is no Apple. This is the first iteration. They would have the Beats headphones at the tail end of it, but they would have stuff like that in the radios, like kind of up front, and the games and whatnot, kind of near the kiosk up front. But then lining the wall was all of these CDs, and it's like, yo, y'all really gotta.
They got going quick as hell too. The one over by the Sam's Club.
Yep. Quick
as shit.
Media Play was my joint though, because they had the chairs. They had the chairs up front.
Yeah.
As soon as you walk in the store, I'm sitting down in this. You can go through. The whole store. You can make a day out of it. It's like chilling in your house.
What the hell happened to the good old days, man?
Toys R Us was fire when we was kids. Maybe it was just because we was kids.
Probably.
You said it's
But you know what
what?
else was fire? This is a major sidetrack. Fucking Kahunaville.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was the
Yes. Yo, that was Nard would talk about that spot to this day. That was the and he's not wrong. That was the spot.
And the Galleria had arcade. God damn. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hell
Yep.
yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Good times. Good times.
You said the last episode was Heat.
Invincible.
It was damn near the calmest one out of the couple ones.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, calmest.
I would
for
agree
sure.
with that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, I would say that because I was wondering. I'm like, bro, if he get his ass whooped one more time, I'm gonna be pissed. But the dragon was like damn near indestructible because you had to fight the nigga that was sleeping. So I
Right.
certainly understood that. And I like that they building up the teamwork with him and Adam Eve. And I guess they building up like these teams, like because we all know shit about to go to hell soon. So I guess they trying to build up like, oh look at everybody's, liking the Rex and Shrinking Ray, they liking the Adam Eve and Invincible, they liking all these different dynamics. So I guess they just building up to tear it down,
They doing it for a
Yeah.
reason. That nigga got
Yeah, every role with him has been very smart, and I do appreciate that because they don't normally put like a black character in a role like that where they like can be highlighted for their intelligence. So I just appreciate the entire character for that because it's like you just don't see that often. And like shout out to Invincible for doing that. Even if it was a guy that's kind of like a villain, still like we don't get that enough. So I shout out to them for that.
bro.
A villain, yeah, he like tiptoe. Yeah, he kind of tiptoe.
Machine Head.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, that was crazy. But and the thing is, he don't take very kindly to when people would threaten his family, which led to him to do everything that he did to Dragon Dude. But when it came from Machine or Machine Head, he was like, "Okay, nope, not gonna mess with you. You got it."
Yo, one thing they got to get right is the power scaling. Like I understand things have to
I
go
agree.
in a certain way for the story to unfold. Like, how did Mark lose this nigga in a sewer? Mark can fly faster than the speed of sound. This nigga was running with Tim's on and beat Invincible. I'm like, bro, like if y'all gonna do that, like just have him blend into the crowd automatically. Don't have him doing no extra shit. Cause now it's like it feels like episode one, all that training was for naught. You got this nigga being outsmarted by regular ass civilians. I
I
don't know,
think
bro.
I think that's on Invincible though. He's still wet behind the ears per se.
Bro, how
He's
wet
still
behind the ears can you be? He done fought 3 Viltrumites,
listen.
almost got killed by 2.
He's so wet behind the ears that this next fight we all know isn't even his worst fight with the individual. He gets to the point
Yeah.
where he's so wet behind the ears, still where he gets his manhood taken from him.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
I mean, that's true, but it's like, bro, like that's different in a comic than in a fucking TV series. You got like we done had 2 seasons of a nigga wet behind the ears. This the
I
middle of
was
season 3, and he's still wet behind the ears. That's
And I
like
was
that's
just
like
about to ask that if they ended it with him, because it takes a while. If you think about it with the comic, it takes a minute though. Like he really get into the Viltrumite fight before he start like really wisening up. Spoiler alert, but like when they start, if I feel like when Oliver start to get older and he got like his own family and whatnot, it's like around that time that you really start to see Mark making the proper like steps of maturity and like, okay, how do we go about this situation? We can't just have this. And he like really he leaders up. I don't. How would y'all feel? Like, think about that. That's pretty deep in the series. If
that's.
it were to be at that point,
I was
where
gonna say I definitely see where you're coming from with that, but it's like, bro, that's a comic. That's you can read that faster than how they pumping out episodes. Once you got people
yeah,
invested in animation and all of this, it's like at some point you got to start ramping it up. Make him mature a little faster. Because it's if 3 seasons
I get
you
what you're
ain't that
saying.
nigga, it's like yo my nigga. Now I got to wait another and then hope in that next season, season 4,
That
that he
you'll
starts.
see it.
Yeah,
I do agree. I do agree with the frustration there. And to your point, you just made me think about something. You're right. Because like cinema, like not just cinema, but like motion art has drama to it. Like you
yeah.
gotta have drama to it. And in this case, the drama that needs to be injected is how this guy can move on to become an efficient leader. And I agree. Do you go? That's why I was good. That's really why I'm like kind of nervous about that one aspect, because I'm like, is he like with a series? I don't know where they gonna end it at, or if it'll get everything. But like, it's kind of got me worried because we in season 4 right now,
Season 3.
season 3. So like, if they said 6 seasons, how would his maturity and him growing up, like you saying, and him coming into that leadership role, how would like that play out if it's only 3 more? If it only were to be 3 more seasons,
I
and
think
how? Mm-hmm.
I think how they're gonna do it, based off of how he's been gauging these couple seasons, he's really tried to flesh out, I guess, a Mark and an Eve relationship. Really tried to flesh both of the characters out, gave Eve her own special, all of this jazz. And once it gets spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. If you do not want to know what's gonna happen at the end of this season, click off the video right now. All right, gave you enough warning. When the nigga fights Conquest, we have to remember Conquest kills Eve, technically, at that point. And then she revives herself with her powers. I feel like because they've been pushing, or because the author has been pushing their relationship so much, and that connection that Mark has been gathering with Eve this season so far, it's going to push him towards that point just a little bit quicker than what we've seen in the comics. Hopefully, at least. Yeah.
Okay.
Where, okay, some of these battles now, we might see a different Mark at hand because he's seen a shawty get killed by these niggas. Doesn't Nolan come back too at that time? With Alan the Alien? Or was that before they even showed up? That was right after, spoiler alert, right
Yeah.
after the nigga fought all of his clones.
No, I
Or
thought
some of his
Omni
clones.
Man come back to Earth after the Invincible War.
I thought it was way after that. I thought it was after Conquest and all of that.
I
Yeah.
thought he came back during Conquest. My bad. So he doesn't come back during Conquest. It's
No,
just
I
him
think
and
he comes
Oliver.
back. Is it either the second time they have Conquest? Because the first time
Yes.
they have Conquest and Mark kills him, that's when Cecil shows him the body. But then Conquest escapes, and then Mark doesn't even know that Cecil lied to him until he sees Conquest in space, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And then they go back to Earth because then Omni Man gets set up on the moon, like he's on the moon base.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would
To
probably
your
be
point,
better.
though, if they pivoted from the comic book and was able to push Mark's maturity from that point, I would be cool with that. Because again, to D's point, we got to start getting the ball moving on this. I don't know how fast they gonna have the pacing of this in the seasons that's to come. I don't know how fast the story is gonna be told. I don't even know how much of the story is gonna be told. So I do agree. That would be this would be the perfect time, Sage, for them to do it. It's right at the end of this season. Because we can't keep doing erratic emotional Mark, with the threat that's looming. And that's
he really do be all over the place.
He'd be all over the place. Like if he react to that situation with Conquest and Adam Eve the same way he did with his mom, right? That's not really showing the same maturity. It's like, at what point are we gonna get him being like that leader? Like what we know happens at the end of the series, and what Mark becomes, especially to the universe. What Mark becomes to the universe, right? Like he gotta start showing that he has that aspect of himself in him, and like D said, it's a television show. So a lot of the emotions and the things that you have to convey, you got to do those things a little bit differently than you do in a comic.
I can feel you. Hopefully, I don't know. I was just hovering over the episode titles and the screens or the images that they showed to promote it.
Yeah,
I think this motherfucker is going to do a nice turnaround. Both of these actions behind back to back, it's going to have to push him towards a role of maturing. That, and does my mic sound good finally?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Okay. Imagine I just say that. All right, but Invincible, that was a cool episode for y'all. I'll middle of the road type of episode.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's all right.
It was kind of like the first 4 episodes of the last season.
Yeah.
I do agree
with Dito. I'm getting spoiled by this Solo level and pacing. Yeah. So it's kind of like I'm looking at it and I'm just like, it ain't enough though, right?
Oh, yeah. Crazy. Pause.
Bro, that's all I'm saying. I'm like, bro, Soul Leveling, I thought it was going to be a little bit more drawn out. Like we get the interactions with him and the other hunters and him and his sister and her friend or whatever, but it's like, yo, the way these fights going, the way the story is paced, and afterward they skipping a lot of the bullshit filler, but it still feels like they remaining faithful to it. Invincible, they add an extra shit. What are y'all doing?
But see, that's where they trying to do the drama side. But to your point, I would much rather see things cater to Mark's maturity as opposed to some of the extra stuff that we have seen.
At this point, I feel like Oliver's stronger than that nigga Mark, bro.
Yo.
To hell with all that holding back shit. We seen Oliver come in the first day on the job. He punched a nigga head off and flew through a nigga's spine on day 1. And he not even a full 10-year-old.
That's what you get for being the bad guy.
Right. Bro,
yeah,
I wish Oliver killed
early Damien.
Though. In that one scene at the park, and he just pants them niggas. I'm like, nah, he should have knocked somebody's head off for real.
Damn. Yeah, I was too.
Yeah.
It would have flipped everything for Oliver.
Oh, facts.
Yeah. Erratic, emotional Mark, I'm to believe that he is right.
You're right. Because all he got to do is see some shit and he starts screaming. Nah, that's a...
Yeah, but and that's the point. He pointing too many fingers.
He don't stop it fast enough either.
No, but hold up. Y'all gotta give Mark a little bit of credit on how this nigga has been treating Cecil this whole entire season.
No.
He's been grabbing that nigga by his neck every time he's seen that nigga.
I think it's irresponsible. I agree with that. I think that the first episode or one of the first episodes where we saw him trying to train to combat the Viltrumites, that's what he should have really been doing with Cecil. He should have put them emotions behind and said, look, we're going to have to meet a common ground. And that common ground is we know there is a looming threat that will be back. And we need to make sure that I am optimal to face this threat.
Bro, think about this, y'all. From when he got his ass whooped by Anissa, Them niggas said he trained so hard. Cecil said, would he be able to beat the female Viltrumite? Donald said, we think so. Not even 100% certainty.
You was
And here
supposed to
he
stay
is.
working.
He losing the Doc Seismic. He losing the fucking bank robbers. He can't stop the Mauler twins. He can't beat niggas stealing the Declaration of Independence.
Dragons messed him up.
Bruh, Anissa flew through a kaiju in one blow and then did a speed burst to get the blood off her and then beat this nigga ass. And it said, somebody worse than me coming, nigga. And this nigga worried about buying an apartment with his.
You know,
if you live on Earth with that nigga as a superhero,
you are screwed.
Like, the best bet we got is Cecil to do some savage shit.
Honestly,
like
I agree with Cecil.
That. Yep.
Cause you got this nigga talking about some. Yeah, we finna move out, nigga. What? They finna.
Mom, I need a house. Over. Do you know what's coming, bro? Like you was told. You act like you were like lost that part of your memory. You know what's coming. Bro. You got like you need that Cecil attitude. Even if you don't like it, I'm not saying you gotta like it, but you need that type of like. We gotta be like SEAL Team 6 and I'm SEAL Team 6. You're the entirety of SEAL Team 6. If these Viltrumites come back to Earth, you gotta lock in. You can't like be worried about, oh, is Eve gonna be my girlfriend? And why is Mom dating this person? And Oliver can't use his powers yet. Like, you can't be worried about this stuff, bro. Like, you got problems. You got problems, bro.
You know what?
Real problem.
Is, though? It's like the Gohan effect. He should be training, but he's worried about other stuff.
Bro, he should have never stopped training. And can y'all blame Cecil for what he's been doing, though?
Granted, well, because he knows things can hit the fan, and he just like, look, I gotta save the planet.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Mark is like, you see Mark, and you like, yo, but you choke Cecil out twice. Your brother killed somebody. Cecil let y'all niggas slide. Like, granted, they was villains. It wasn't like they were civilians, but your brother killed 2 people. Your dad leveled damn near half of downtown Chicago. Like, my nigga, like, you should be training, and I can't trust your ass. If like, bro, I'm on Cecil's side. I had to find a weakness for y'all niggas. He didn't even tell Mark. The first time we met your dad, we knew he was a lying ass nigga. He didn't even tell him that. He like, your dad lied to my face as soon as I met him. So I couldn't even trust your family, bro. Like, we gotta keep tabs.
Your brother done obliterated one dude head, pause, and then ran through the rib cage of another, and you telling me, oh, I'm just not supposed to prepare for that going crazy?
But if I'm Cecil, I'm pushing that button in his head. That shit ain't coming off.
Staying on.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep that shit on for about a week.
Yeah.
You ready to train? No.
Yo, what is that? Why don't they have that nigga training?
He don't want to, and they don't want to make him upset.
I mean, like on his own, you would think like,
because he Mark. He immature, erratic Mark right now. That's why he not training.
He is.
The world could be dying. The world could be dying, and Mark gonna be worried about what flowers to buy Adam Eve. It's a problem.
Make herself. That's the problem. This bitch could have made 10,000 roses. He like,
I need to pick 10. It's grow up, bro. Like the world. Look what your dad did. Look at what the world is left with. Look, like you just come and you worried about the dumbest of things.
Think about this shit, y'all boys. This nigga Invincible is the strongest nigga on the planet. Strongest, fastest, whatever. We seen the nigga Rexplode spark it off with everybody. Rexplode that took on these dragon niggas.
Yep.
He got a new hand. He took on the Declaration niggas, multi-paw. He took on the Reanimin when they was attacking him. Like, bruh, he got the most heart on the team. And he probably the weakest nigga out there.
Yeah, and he supposed to, what Mark's supposed to be, he acting more like, and what you would expect Rex to act like is really what Mark is acting more like.
Yes.
Because like when you think about it, like think about right now where we at in this season. They left because of the corruption and everything with Cecil. They left the what is it, the Guardians? They left that.
Yeah.
But they still in the fight. They went and got a little basement.
Yep.
It don't even got lights. They barely got a table. They losing their mind. But they still in the fight. They still in the fight. Meanwhile, Mark is sitting on the rooftop every episode, staring at the stars.
Bruh, I hate this nigga. Yeah, Rob. I don't know. They better shape up. Ask for shit we ever seen in our lives.
I think it's just a slow week with a slow episode, and these next couple episodes will be like, even though this nigga Mark is still getting his ass whooped, he's still serviceable enough. That's all. Sometimes
Well, I do agree.
a
The
nigga
next
needs.
fight is like a real. It's a fight. It's a real fight. So that should help him, and that should kind of quell some of the training aspects with Mark. Sage, I just really like what you said about they use the TV show and the situation that happens at the end of this season to shape Mark's maturity, because it would just be a really good time for that to happen. If he go back to wanting to figure out the perfect flowers to get Eve to sit in the middle of a street and have a date with her again. These people came from the future and told him, like, yeah, bruh, the future is messed up. We need you now. And he was like, no. He can't be doing that, bro. He can't be doing that.
Don't you see I'm on a date?
Don't you see I'm on a date? He in a date on the middle of the street.
Imagine
He in
all
the middle of the
people
street with a little
Yeah.
cheap table
saying no.
saying, no, I'm on a date. He can't do that.
Nigga. They said, all right.
They said he don't understand. We just about to fly through him into this portal.
Imagine all the people that would have been saved if Batman just would have killed Joker from the get go.
But then we wouldn't have a series.
They wouldn't have, but still, imagine all
Yo,
the
but
people
I
he
don't
would have
think that
saved.
nigga do get stronger though. Think about it. After his
He do.
battle with Conquest, he still get R-worded.
He still do get stronger. I think she's been getting stronger as well, though.
Anissa, how's she getting stronger?
She could
That
change
whole
it.
thing about to be
But Mark-
crazy.
Mark has
It's-
a rebuilt
it's
body.
not-
You
it's
forgetting that in his fight with Conquest, his body is either that fight or a different fight. But I believe Eve like healed him to a point where he was even stronger. So if you fight in Conquest and beat him, and he's stronger than Anissa, that shouldn't have even happened.
I think the hundreds of years of battle experience is something that isn't talked about enough in this series.
Facts, because they did say she
That's
was faster
true.
than Omni-Man too. They're like she moved faster
Yeah.
than Nova. We can't even keep a track.
All of that stuff come into play. That's why Battle Beast do it with some weak no-name Viltrumite. We saw Battle Beast having to throw hands like it was his last chance to possibly survive. Cause like, and that's what the weakest.
That nigga was bricked up at the site of battle.
He said
That-
battle.
That's not the battle.
Oh,
Wait, what? He was what?
But like, think about it. That's a little
He was
no-name
bricked up at the
Viltrumite,
site of battle.
and he was fighting.
Now,
And
wait,
we
so
know who
I'm
Battle
saying
Beast go
you
on to
feel
fight.
Viltrumites. If there's no Viltrumites, I'm gonna start fighting you. I'm gonna say, hold up.
Hey, he wanted to fight. He wanted to fight. He was like, nah.
at
I
this
need
point,
to
this
do this
nigga
now.
Alan the Alien could just solo the whole show because he just ain't nothing fucking with that nigga.
Yeah, he-
Nah, it's gonna be some that fuck with him. It's gonna be
But
some.
my thing is, what killed me? My man getting beat down by the Viltrumite. Then Nolan steps in. He was like, "Wait, you could have laid there and took a couple more." He's like, "Yeah, I had to pretty much put it on thick so that you can step up and actually start fighting."
Yeah, his like development, it do seem like it's a little fast, but I could be mistaken because I haven't
what
read the
Mark
series in a long time.
Yeah. That nigga Alan the Alien was beaten to a pulp though. He got the brakes beat off him right after he got some ass too. Damn.
And Mark knew about that.
I don't think so.
Knew
Yeah,
about what?
see, he needed to know about how
Yeah.
his dad got captured and how
Oh,
Alan got.
I don't know about his dad getting captured, but I think
He knows
Alan.
his dad got captured.
Oh, he does, right? Alan the Alien
Yeah.
came down at some point in time.
No,
I think.
But does he know
Yeah.
about Alan getting beat up like that to the where he was like pudding?
I think he did show up where he was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pudding.
I think
Bro.
I don't know. I don't know if
Mark is Mark a little
'cause
special
didn't
there
he go?
because
Didn't he go find Nolan right after he got better? Because wasn't that what the
yeah.
leader
So
told
Mark
him to
didn't
do?
know about that.
Yeah, he didn't know.
Mark needed to know about that. I think if he had a known Allen got beat to pudding, he would have probably been like, "All right, see, so I'm gonna need to. We gonna have to train like Kobe, LeBron, Jordan, one."
Be like putting.
But he
Because-
said your father is scheduled for execution, and I don't think Mark has been like, yo, I gotta go find my dad.
Nothing.
Mm-mm.
Like I don't think they touched on that shit at all because he's like, your
Yeah.
father will be scheduled for execution. It's like
He was like, "I need a girlfriend."
Took his brother, went to Earth, got his bitch.
It's like, "Well, Dad did enough harm. I don't care."
Like, what is going on?
Mark is. I don't know. I'm starting to like
He's a teenage nigga.
whether I like though how Mark was written is probably gonna come down to if what Sage says happens or not. If what Sage says happens and he's able to mature, even if it's after the situation with Anissa, if he happens to have a change where we have a noticeable level of maturity happen with Mark, which that would even be a okay point because something like that happening to you, that's probably a solid point for him to be like looking at life a little bit differently. That would be fine with that. But if he doesn't, like if all of that stuff still happens and he's sitting on the roof kissing Adam Eve, I'm gonna be like, something wrong with him. Something ain't right. He got hit in the head too hard. He got CTE. He got Viltrumite CTE.
Oh, he got that Antonio Brown.
This nigga Oliver be changing up his costumes too. Damn, hold on. I might have to reread this shit. All
Another
right.
spoiler question. I got a question
Oliver,
too. Speaking of, this is about Oliver too. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Even though it really shouldn't be a spoiler alert if you've been paying attention to the series, but I'll still say spoiler alert. Next season, do he age up a little bit more? Like, do we see him as that'll happen for sure next season?
Yeah, because last season we seen him as a baby. Now he like an 8-year-old. Next season he damn near gonna be like a 6.
Mark's age.
Young Omni Man.
Yeah, he gonna be
Yeah.
like Mark's age.
Right. That definitely, but like in terms of how it went in the comic, that definitely should happen next season. So like after Conquest Battle, he like grew up.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Because I was trying to figure that out when I was watching it.
Because I mean, with his flaxen
Yeah.
physiology, I think that's the word. It's
Mhm.
like he'll grow up to be because they only live for like 6 weeks.
Yeah, but his Viltrumite DNA slows it down, but it still is in effect for while he's younger, which is why he's getting powers and everything faster than Mark did, because it just kind of super speeds everything up, but it does slow down.
Yeah,
which we see. Dang, okay. I'm not gonna lie to you, teenage Oliver era, and not just specifically him, but just the time when he was a teenager, that I'm excited to see that get animated, and then him as an adult as well, because he do play a part towards
him as an
that.
adult is
He play
gonna be
a
crazy.
huge part on that off-world art.
yeah.
Oh, I was so disappointed. Ooh, I might have to reread this again too. All right, that's all I got there, y'all.
All right, real quick, we can. I don't know if you want.
Spider-Man. We never did Spider-Man, did we?
Yeah, Spider-Man. No, we never did it. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. It has just wrapped up. Real quick, my thoughts. Jeff Trumbull, if I'm not mistaken, or Trumbull. I think it's Jeff Trumbull. He is the actual writer and creator of this show. Black man, we greatly fucking appreciate you. Marvel, this is who y'all put y'all money behind. Bar none, my nigga. Stop fucking around and getting these fucking dweebs that you think are the dweebs that we need, nigga. We need these dweebs, alright? Get it together. I'm sorry if dweeb is a slur to y'all. It's a term of endearment for me, okay? I'm a dweeb as well. But we need Jeff Trumbull. Because his way of telling a new story from a different perspective with fresh and exciting characters, it was a breath of fresh air. Y'all could go ahead.
Not
10
gonna
out
lie to you. Not gonna lie to you. Just kind of thinking about what you just said because you made me think of a greater point between Black Panther, X-Men '97, and Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I think it might. Like I don't usually get this bold, but hire more black people. Hire more black people. They do a decent job in the MCU. It's just the truth. Like it's really the truth. Some of the best material we've seen out of the MCU has come from black people. Just maybe go get some black nerds. Just give more of them. They making solid stuff.
And who's the number one black nerd? Comics Explained.
That's
He's
a fact.
black, right?
He is.
Yeah, bro. Like y'all said. Like at first, I ain't really the one. Not saying I ain't, but I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like it. But now it's like, okay, like damn, the artwork is actually a pretty good show. Like I mean, hell, we had Bo DeMaio too. So I think it's safe to say we know what the fuck we doing. It's just not like don't just wait for no Black Panther shit or no Miles Morales shit to hire us. Like, bro, we comics just as much as y'all.
Yeah, it was, the thing is, it was phenomenal. I love how they did the story. Y'all know that's really like my biggest thing. Like I really will leave a lot of other things. Like I'll let a lot of things pass if a story is just written really well. And for what they did in this first season, to introduce the characters they did, to have us ushering in what they were ushering in for more seasons down the line. Lonnie, Tombstone, Lonnie Walker, whatever his last. Yeah. To introduce him the way that they did was great. We know that Doc Ock is out there. Nico has her own role, which I like. Sage, I think you had told me before that she had powers and whatnot, but to see how they hinted at that with the locket, I didn't even notice that till the end, but you had told me that happened. For them to be able to sneak that in there, be able to have that character in that role. The one thing that I was kind of worried about with the series was, are we gonna get more of a role from Harry? Right at the end, we have Harry starting hit what looks like is gonna be a future Foundation. Because remember, this isn't the same MCU as the traditional MCU or anything even from the comic book. A lot of things are different. So what it looks like he's building is going to be a future Foundation instead of it being Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four that start the future Foundation. So to have a story where you have Harry Osborn start the future Foundation, we don't know what can come from that. We don't know if he possibly would end up being in a Goblin role. We don't know what can come out of that. And then on top of that, to have Norman at the end, we knew that he was already building the Goblin equipment. Okay, but now he has the symbiote. We know he wanted the spider with Spider-Man, but we saw how that loop went phenomenal. How they did that little butterfly effect type of role play where they had the spider that bit Spider-Man. You know, we saw how it happened from something that happened in the future. I thought they did a great job with that, but the spider is no longer there, as we know, because it bit Peter Parker. But the Venom symbiote does come into play, so it makes you wonder, in this unique universe, are they possibly going to do what's the no, but this ties into Norman Osborn's grandson, Normie.
No.
He was a Venom goblin in the comic book. So what I'm wondering is, are they gonna, since this is its own thing, are they gonna make Norman Osborn Normie's role, where it's a Venom goblin? It's not just
I can see that.
And that would be unique. And to have somebody like Norman Osborn in that role would be crazy, because if you have if they take a more savage Venom, right, and they have him going to Norman Osborn, that if it's more like a carnagey Venom, like the original Venom that was more like violent and evil, that could play the same or a similar role that the Goblin's multiple personality kind of has. So I'm very impressed, very, very, very impressed by this. You still have people that we haven't seen too much from. Dr. Connors, we know we'll get more of that in season 2. Amadeus, the idea of Amadeus Cho being there, and he's now integral to the Oscorp. So to be able to see what type of role we get out of Amadeus Cho, I do believe when Amadeus Cho was first introduced, he was more of a villain. So we may be able to get that like original Amadeus Cho feel from this series. It's fun like that. That that was done so well. They got to get that dude, Jeff Tramiel. They have got to get him to do stuff for the MCU because that's how you start. Like you could do a movie, you could do series from that, you could do movies from that, you could set up an Avengers from that, and that's just from Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse. They like that is how you do it. That's how you set up those pieces. So I hope we see more of that. But yeah, I do for everything that Spider-Man set up. I give it a 10 out of 10. Let me look up that Venom too. While whoever go next.
Well, my thing is, I like how this show really expounded upon the side characters. Not Pearl per se, but Nico. Usually the best friend of Spider-Man takes a backseat. They actually gave Nico like an actual role in this. We know that she has those special abilities even when she like called her mom from the locket in that moment. I think it was near the end of the last episode. And actually show like you see the character development with Nico and Harry Osborn, because she didn't like him at first for being so daggone popular, but then once she really got to know who he truly was, she became friends with him and really understood him, and see that like he wasn't using Peter just for like clout or anything, or Peter wasn't using him for clout. It was a genuine friendship. I like how Norman Osborn, with the idea like going forward, us talking about it with him being Venom or Goblin Venom, that will kind of really play a role because he does know Peter's identity. He knows the people that he hangs around. He knows his loved ones. He knows everybody. So that's going to really push buttons for Peter going forward.
Hey, real quick.
Yep.
Jeff Trammell on his Twitter already has teased Gwen Stacy will be in season 2. They already have been greenlit for 3 seasons of this bit. And I believe they already have skins of Gwen Stacy having her Spider-Gwen outfit on as well. Costume on.
Is this Gwen Stacy through the multiverse or the Spider-Verse?
Gwen Stacy within this specific universe of this show.
It's a unique universe.
Yep,
So
it's a unique universe.
Coming from? Because technically that spider was in the same.
It still went away. Remember, it went into somebody's book bag after it bit Peter. Yep. So it's been on the loose this whole entire time. We just never seen Gwen Stacy. So maybe she's bitten by that same spider. Maybe they give her that role as well. My bad for cutting you off, though. I just wanted to. I just was on his Twitter.
I really especially like Lonnie's character development for him becoming Tombstone, because I was not expecting that. I really was not. I thought he probably would have got killed or something in the end, like what they usually do with most of these characters that actually have a good upbringing, a good background, just thrown in the wrong place at the wrong time. I thought he would have had a realization, yeah, this ain't for me, and he ended up getting. I thought he was going to get killed by Scorpion, maybe once or twice, in different situations. So, I like how we see him becoming Tombstone. I kind of didn't like how Big Don just ran off like that. That was. You just left the homies hanging like that.
That's how the nigga was the whole time, though. He preyed on his little brother and then made that nigga join the gang.
Oh yeah, no.
He was a little bitch from the get go.
I get that. Overall, I like how they made a lot of similarities with the MCU, with some of the things that's occurring. Especially that first episode where he walked through, and it was similar to I think it was the first Spider-Man Homecoming, where Tony Stark showed up in his living room.
Oh yeah.
and it was cool because you know it's a different universe and they're actually tying in the animated universe with the MCU or the Spider Verse since they
Yeah, it's
actually
like playing homage.
yeah.
Paying homage.
So overall, like I give this season a 10 out of 10. So they were solid with everything that they did.
What about you, D?
No, so I liked it. I probably didn't give it a rating. I'd say put up there with a 10 out of 10 with Nile and T.
10 out of 10 across the board. That's saying a lot. That's the first 10 out of 10 I believe we've ever made across the board.
No, we had another one, but it's the second one, and I think it's the first MCU one.
First MCU
What's the
one?
first one?
It had to be. I feel like it was
Solo
something. It had to be
Leveling.
something. Probably Solo Leveling season 1.
Oh,
Yeah, probably. Most likely. Yeah, Solo Leveling season 2. That might knock that shit out the water right now. Let's
Get
go.
another 10 out of 10.
It's going.
About to be first and third.
It's a couple different topics we could go off of real quick. I know Sony indefinitely delays Beyond the Spider-Verse. I don't know if we touched upon that topic, but Sony's just been in the garbage at this point in time right now. Dragon Ball Daima, Garbanzo beans. Dragon Ball Daima, real quick. I don't know if y'all have been keeping up, but a whole lot of shit. I was about to say Kishimoto. Toriyama is just dropping from his grave. Super Saiyan. We got Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. This past in his adult form, this past episode, we got Goku going Super Saiyan 3 in his adult form, then going to Super Saiyan 4.
so they not babies no more?
Nope.
They're not babies anymore. My bad. My bad. My
real
bad.
quick,
My
Chad.
bad. My bad. Oh, my bad. Spoilers. Who is that? I can't
Code
see the
Red.
name.
That's Code
Code
Red.
Red.
Shout out to you,
Yeah.
Code Red, for the spoilers. I was
Yeah.
going to interrupt Sage to say shout out, and then I can't read it though. It's so small, and then I'm seeing them put
Yo, that shit's small as
spoilers.
hell.
Damn, my
Red
bad.
was good. I need to check
My
that.
bad,
Damn.
Code Red. Nah, come back. Nah, come back, Code Red.
Code
My
Red.
bad.
Said,
Dragon Ball?
Elmo.
Yeah. You like, damn, they spoiled that shit fast as hell.
Dang, I just get in here. I literally just get in here. They spoiling something.
Man, so I walked in the door and they pretty much like got rid. Vegeta
Yeah.
died, Goku-
He
Nah,
just
it
told
is-
the whole
It is
thing.
one part in this episode that is probably the funniest Dragon Ball content that I've seen in my life, and it's regarding Vegeta and Bulma. That's all I'm gonna
Leave it
say.
alone.
That's
Leave
all
it
I'm gonna say.
alone. Don't
It's
spoil
the
it.
funniest thing ever.
That was
So,
funny.
It was. But how y'all feeling, real quick? Y'all thoughts?
Non-spoiler.
Non-spoiler. My bad. Non-spoiler.
I seen spoilers for this, and it didn't really bother me that I didn't fully watch Daima all the way through, because it's so slow in the beginning. It's just a slow burn before
It
you
is.
get to the action. So I'm still gonna finish it. I'm trying to wait on it to go dub, because I know they're in the midst of getting that together. But I might just like rush through the sub as quickly as possible, because I gotta sit there and really pay attention. Seeing everything from the spoilers and the action and that scene with Vegeta and Bulma, I'm not gonna lie, all the memes from it, that's like the ultimate meme. Yo, he's
If
down
you know,
bad.
you know.
He's down bad. That's all I gotta say. That man.
He's not down bad. That
No,
is a
he's down
perfectly.
bad. No,
That is an understandable individual.
Don't
Because if he
spoil
wasn't-
it.
Because if he wasn't, he would have never reacted the way he reacted.
We're not gonna spoil it.
That's what I'm saying. If he wasn't down bad, like,
We would all do that in the same situation.
depending on who it is.
All of us.
Depending
All
on
of
who it
us.
is. Depending on
All
who
of
it is.
us.
Depending on who
All
it
of
is.
us.
Depending on who it is.
What does he do? I need to know now.
Nothing. No, we're not gonna
We'll
do that
tell
for
you-
Korea.
We'll tell you after.
Yeah.
No, but
It's a great little. I thought I was gonna hate it. I honestly thought I was not gonna like it. The first
A
couple
super
episodes,
A super
I was
surprise.
like, this like I know Toriyama wanted to just do some like fun kiddie thing. You know, it's a child's show and program initially. So he, you know, I'm like, okay, maybe he just trying to kind of get more back to the roots of like the original series and kind of give something to the older fans. He did that, but he did it in a way where, as an older fan of watching it, it's solid. It's very reminiscent of Dragon Ball. It very much is. You said that it was really slow, and the funny part is that was kind of how I felt about Dragon Ball at times. Is that there was things that was dragged out, there was things that took a lot of time. So I really felt like this series just really went back to the core, and I'll explain what I mean by that a little bit further. When we do. It's not a spoiler to say, because we saw it in the trailer. Like we get like the smaller Goku, right? That's something that's kind of like common knowledge for anybody for Daima. I don't. If you've seen a poster for Daima, then you know that it's a smaller Goku at the very least. When we get that miniature version of Goku, right, and then you pair him. There's other characters, there's new characters that's kind of brought into the fold as well. But they literally paired him with a Bulma. When you really think about it, they paired him with Bulma in the same light that they did Bulma in Dragon Ball. And when I started to kind of grasp that, I was like, you know what? It's like this series is the one that Toriyama was trying to do to give that homage to the original Dragon Ball. Bring in, even some of the elements like the things that's used without spoiling too much. It's hard to do. It's hard. It's a little hard. I'm sorry, Code Red. It's a little hard for some of it. But like even some of the some of the
Whoa.
because I'm trying to like be careful with my words so I don't spoil. But some of the references of and some of the items that we see just in the series, right? Like some of the items are things that came straight from Dragon Ball. And it's it's just good to see that. Like if anybody saw the original Dragon Ball, if anybody really was like became a fan more so on the original Dragon Ball more than Z, there's a lot of elements of that you get in the beginning, including that slow burn and such. The other thing though is that I really like about this series is it's not just a homage to Dragon Ball. It also still brings in elements from Dragon Ball Z, things that we either were left off at or things that we had came to enjoy and embrace from the Dragon Ball Z run. Not everything, not every arc, but there are things from Dragon Ball Z, various arcs that are also shown within the series. And it's just done. It's slow, and at first I didn't like it, but it's like at this point I think the way that everything shaped up and then how it even had it paid is on my it gave honors to series that aren't even necessarily looked at and things in Dragon Ball that aren't even looked at as being a part of the initial series and such, and having those things in play as well. It's solid. It shaped up really well so far, and I'm really excited to see how it ends.
How many do we know how many episodes we have left? At?
It can't be that many. It can't be that many.
Can't be.
It doesn't even look like it's gonna be season 2.
D.
No.
Oh yeah, D. You haven't watched it, right?
I've watched one episode, and I was like waiting for these niggas to grow up, but I guess they babies for the whole.
So I have a theory I was talking to a friend about, but I don't want to spoil anything.
Spoil it.
How? Okay, y'all remember Battle of the Gods?
Nope.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember when what's her face had the dream? Beerus. What if it was?
Yeah.
What if it was SSJ?
Oh.
What was it SSJ for? What if that was SSJ for?
A mix, but mix that with the God key that they
Yes.
get from Beerus.
Yes.
Or
But the idea of him feeling that presence.
Mm-hmm.
or Ultra Instinct times Super Saiyan 4, and then Ultra Ego times Super Saiyan 4.
But what?
Boom.
Okay, let me mess
Boom.
everything up for you. But what if we're stuck in the realm of they can only go this form in the demon world?
I don't think that'd be the case, because
Then
it
why
seems
send
like
it-
he has
okay.
the grasp.
Could be.
Why
Okay,
hasn't he
hold on.
used it?
Why hasn't he used it in Super?
That is a good maybe.
Why hasn't
I
he
don't
used it
know.
in Super? Because you got to
Maybe it's
think
the
about
magic
it,
element. Maybe he has to figure out more of the magic element or something. I don't fucking know.
bruh.
They
That
brought
means-
it here for a reason,
but
which
they-
means that they're going to use that
I
in the coming.
I don't believe that they're going to do
Nah,
that.
I don't think so though, because why go backwards? Maybe, I mean, we do see in times, especially like when when he wants to test his opponent, we'll see him go through like various forms, but that defeats the whole purpose of Broly. That defeats the entire purpose of the Broly movie where he did that, because then why wouldn't he just do that form then? So I think that T might be right. It may be something where this is to bring it into canon. They using it as the caveat is it can only be accessed in this round.
Because remember when Beerus came, what did Goku go when he was on King Kai's planet? He only went to a certain form. Thank you, now. He only went 3. He only went 3. So think about it. They can easily, like, pretty much Goku would say, oh, I can only go 4. Boom. But the problem is, though, where do we explain Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta? That's the only big caveat in this whole situation. They can get away with Goku saying that I can only go Super Saiyan 4 in this world.
But Vegeta shouldn't be able to do that, right?
So it's going to be a lot that they have to explain as this carries on into the Super timeline. Or...
Hold on, I already got some articles.
Here we flip and go.
I already got some art. I ain't gonna do that. We at 10:14 right now. All right, so everybody, nostalgic run. If you haven't tapped into Dragon Ball Daima, I promise you, you're gonna be bored the first couple episodes. I promise you. I can't lie about that. So y'all just gonna have to grind your teeth, get through that shit, or just skip closer to the end. And I'm pretty sure you could get the bare minimum of what is going on in the story. And
It's
then you can
very
get the
childish
nostalgia.
too. I feel like that's a good point to kind of add in there. You're not getting tournament vibes. You're not getting like Cell Saga vibes. It's not anything like that. It's more of a child light series.
It's a shorter version of
90%
GT.
of it.
Shorter
Yeah.
version of GT.
Yeah. Yeah. Even GT though was a little bit more like it had more darker themes.
Yep.
This doesn't have that. It doesn't even have GT's
But
darker
Akira,
theme.
Has there ever been any dark theme with Akira Toriyama's work?
Yeah, he has done some dark stuff. Cell Saga has some like sad parts and like dark parts.
What dark parts? The only dark part I seen was when Goku pretty much put his child up on a chopping block and gave this man a whole sensu bean. Let's reset the rounds.
It might have been a filler. It might have been a filler episode. I'm not sure, but like when
shot that or no, that was Majin Buu saga. I'm thinking.
yeah,
That was the dark part I seen. Like, that dog getting killed.
But since
Nah.
this was magically assisted, I'm sorry,
keep
another
going.
tangent. Since this was magically assisted by the Namekian, right? There's already a way for Goku to achieve this. We already have seen this power to be achievable. He just has to reach a certain power level to attain it.
All right, well,
So
here's
what if-
another caveat: is what if it's not necessarily confined to a world, but it's confined to a certain type of Namekian? Like it has to be unlocked by a Namekian.
But
That
that's
could
the-
also be a
but that's the
caveat.
problem.
I mean, he's the only one that
Piccolo-
has this magic ability.
But technically, Piccolo would have that magic too because he's derived from.
Nah, not in the
No.
way of never. He said in the series, he said in Daima,
Yeah.
this is the most powerful Namekian I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, he don't got like maybe Dende. I can see you trying to make the argument for Dende because of the role Dende has, etc. His ability to be able to talk the language and communicate, maybe. But if Dende isn't at a point where he has the wisdom or knowledge to do it, then the only one who would have been able to do it is old Demon King Namekian. That would be it. That's the only one who could. So that could be the caveat too. And that's the reason why you didn't see it in Battle of Gods.
I think how Ultra Instinct he was able to create that Susanoo. I think he's gonna be able to create the Super Saiyan form in essence with that Ultra Instinct key that he gets or aura, whatever you say.
Nah, I just think it go beyond. I think it's just gonna go beyond. There may be something where they try. There could very well be a super arc where they try to awaken the Great Ape aspects of a Saiyan.
Mm-hmm.
We got Broly here, so you can't say no, right?
People were saying that maybe it's a way for Broly to power up while all of these other guys are going into like God mode type of thing. But
that's possible.
But why would Broly Super Saiyan 4 Broly sounds fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it does. But
sounds like a monster.
Wait, he goes Super Saiyan?
Broly?
No.
Yeah.
He
Super
goes
Broly.
Super Broly, and then he goes legendary Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Which is two different things. Yeah, so if he had legendary Super Saiyan 4,
they could go back. I just don't know. I don't think that Akira Toriyama really cared much for the hotels and the whole Great Ape thing. Mm-hmm. It worked well for the like Saiyan invasion arc in Dragon Ball Z, and it worked in Dragon Ball whenever for how that was used. But I just don't think he ever enjoyed using that aspect. So I don't know if I could see them going back to it unless whoever takes over the writing for Super really kind of goes into the fan fiction part. This was, or the fan, what's the term I'm looking for? When you do things that fans specifically like, it's a term for it. I can't think of what it is. Fan service. Thank you. Unless the new mangaka who's gonna finish or continue Super goes heavily into the fan service side. This was the most fan servicey side from Akira Toriyama. Yeah. And this is in a while. I don't know. I can't think exactly what will be the last thing before this, but this was probably the most fan service I've seen from Akira Toriyama in a while.
He knew what he was doing too, man. He knew niggas was.
It's almost like he knew he was going out. It's kind of eerie because it feel like he almost knew he was going out.
Yeah, and he needed to make this shit canon before, or even after. Now that we've known.
Because it's just kind of like a thank you for. It's just kind of like a thank you for watching Dragon Ball throughout all of the years. That's what the series really ultimately feel like it was trying to say. Like, here, I'm going to give you elements from everything from Dragon Ball Z to even the things that were not canon. I'm going to give you every element or aspect of Dragon Ball as a whole. And it's like weird that he did that before he left. Because I mean, I don't think he knew he was going to be departing.
Kind of switch characters, even kind of just like copied the GT storyline. Instead of Pan, you got the alien demon world girl.
Yeah,
like
who is not just only like Pan, but is also kind of like Bulma. Think about it, all of the technology.
Yeah.
All you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, yeah, it's really weird. It's kind of like the later episodes, it kind of started to become a little eerie to me because I'm like, did he know he was gonna be leaving?
It's just crazy, man. We greatly appreciate you, Toriyama, for everything you did, everything you stood for, and the content that you created and even give to us even after you have passed away. So R.I.P. Rest in power to
R.I.P. Akira Toriyama.
All right, so I think we gonna end it off at that 10:22. It's a little late episode, but we appreciate y'all again. Please smash that like button and subscribe. Turn on that noti bell so you know if we're releasing on a Sunday, if we going live on a Monday. It don't matter. Just stay up with us. Squad Nero back in this thing again. Croco's Corner on all podcast platforms. Make sure y'all tap into that. Twitch.tv/Smooth Entertainment is where T Smooth does his gaming and everything like that. He might be on 2K. He might sauce you up some days. You may never know. But we appreciate y'all again. Y'all stop back in next week. We're going to have some more content for y'all. All right? Appreciate y'all. Y'all stay easy.
Trash bags of that green, whipping fast, the whip color of cocaine. I'm independent, they in this business to stop these dreams. On the road to riches, focus on the ticket, maximize my means. It's like now I'm just trying to flow. There's a couple holes up in this boat. Dose my mind just so I can quote. They focus on the dollar, feel like I'm a migrant, just touch a new island every time I smoke. Regardless, ain't no way I'ma miss my target when I got it locked up in my scope.